Okay, everybody, welcome to Sony NAB 2014. We are here at the Sony Booth, and we are doing a series of live shows all week, 2 a day. And for today's show, it's all about the Anycast, and we have two guests here. But before I get to that, I'd like to invite everybody who's watching on the live stream and on Twitter to tweet hashtag Sony NAB, ask your questions, make comments. And we are also giving away, for folks that are participating, a Sony Action Cam for the best question, best comment. So why don't we kick things off by introducing our guests today. We have Alex Rossi. He is the Senior Product Marketing Specialist for Sony Solutions of America. And Dion LeConte, am I pronouncing your name?
It's LeCointe.
LeCointe, okay. He is Product Manager of Sony Professional Solutions of America. So guys, why don't we kick things off with our first questions. Can you give an overview of the Anycast Touch for those seeing it for the first time? Alex, I'll give that to you.
Sure. So the Anycast Touch live content producer is the, we would call the spiritual successor to the Anycast Station that debuted in 2004. The Anycast Station was basically a studio in the box. We set out to bring live production to out of the massive newsroom studio into the hands of smaller productions, and to do so would require something small and portable, something relatively robust, and that incorporated all of the necessary functionalities you would need to effectively run a live production on that scale. The Anycast Touch takes that one step further now by making it even more intuitive with touchscreen interface. So it takes it from the traditional button and knob and lever of a switcher to a intuitive interface of touchscreen, such as a tablet or a smartphone, something that everyone uses in everyday life.
Excellent. If you had to sum up the most important features of the Anycast Touch, what makes it so special?
Right, so the Anycast Touch, what makes it so special is it's extremely easy to use. It's highly portable. It's truly all-in-one. So you have your video switcher, your audio mixer, your streaming encoder, PTZ camera controller, recording, text and title generator, all in one convenient unit that is only about 14 pounds, easy to pick up and move from one production to the next. It's very lightweight, as I said, and the learning curve is extremely small.
Yeah, I know we have a couple of a college intern operating it over there.
Correct.
So, and we just learned just the other day, so it's tremendous.
Right, the college folks that are here helping us out with NAB literally have had minimal training on it this weekend, yet we're entrusting them to run this production for us.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, I know we have some folks in our audience here, and I want to invite everybody, if you have questions, don't hesitate, raise your hand. We have a microphone there, and we like to take your questions as well. So don't have to wait till the end of the show to ask a question. Dion, what does the future hold for Anycast Touch? Can you talk about any new features available now or coming down the road?
Sure, absolutely. The Anycast Touch is, the horizon for this product is so incredible. I wish I could tell everyone everything that we have coming down the roadmap, but I can't. They may arrest me or get rid of me. But the feature set that exists within the products are, like Alex just outlined, are really impressive. So we do have built-in robotic camera control. We do have a built-in audio mixer, built-in streaming, built-in recording, a built-in media player, so you can actually have content that was recorded on the unit or content that was imported into the unit that can be played back during your live production. So a number of features already built in. And now this year at the show, we're actually demonstrating and showing a new feature that's in the version 1.2 software upgrade that includes auto camera tracking. So think of an application where you're possibly in a house of worship, or you're possibly in a corporate environment where you have a speaker on stage who is moving from left to right. And anyone who's actually operated a pan-tilt zoom camera knows how difficult it is to keep track of someone who decides to jump from stage right to stage left at a moment's notice. We actually have technology built into the Anycast Touch that when connected to one of our Sony BRC or our pan-tilt zoom cameras will keep track of talent as they move across the stage. So it'll do as they pan left and right, it'll also do zoom in and zoom out depending on their location to the camera.
Now, on that feature, do they have to wear any special badge, or how's that work, or is it
No, not at all. So it actually uses color vector tracking. It keeps track of the clothing or the skin tones of the person that's actually being targeted by the software. And as they move across the stage, it keeps track of them that way. So that way, in case someone else crosses in front of them, it still knows that I'm tracking this specific color vector as they move across the scene for the Anycast Touch. Now, if the other person on stage is wearing the exact same thing, the software may have a little bit of an issue, but we like to hope that people don't dress the same when they get on their stage. But it actually tracks skin tones. It'll also track the color that they're wearing as well. Another feature that we're introducing is more flexible picture-in-picture configurations. We have a number of templates that users can utilize that can be modified for a very specific and creative on-air look. We've also enhanced and improved and introduced text overlays with our graphics technology within the Anycast Touch. So now users have the ability to import a myriad of their own created graphics and have their text overlaid onto those graphics, which can be used as lower thirds or bugs for their live production. So that's only a small sample of all the exciting things we're bringing.
Tremendous. Now, I know another use case, and we participated in this last summer. We were fortunate to take part in a special event, a press event, to operate a control room at a minor league baseball game. Sure. I know you remember that. Can you describe the event and what you set out to achieve?
Great question. So we've as a manufacturer, when we bring new products to the market, we've always gone the route of introducing it to all the trade magazines and introducing it to the press. The normal mode of operation for that is sending a press release with some pictures and then leaving it up to the press to determine, based on our words alone, how good this product is. So we thought to ourselves, well, why don't we directly engage the press in the product itself? We set out with the mission of creating a product that was easy to use, a product that was intuitive, that someone who may not be a video professional could literally walk up to, spend an hour learning it, and then become a professional, an expert at it. So we figured, let's invite members of the press, let's invite end users to a local baseball game, minor league baseball game for the Rockland Boulders up in Pomona, New York. If anyone's interested, they're really good.
Great ballpark.
So we invited members of the press, we invited end users out there, and we pretty much said, okay, we're going to give you about 45 minutes of training on the Anycast Touch. And
we're showing in the back. I'm on, and I had not used it at all.
Not at all.
And I was off and running in about 40,
and you felt pretty good about
absolutely.
it. Absolutely. So that was the concept. We wanted to show people and show the press and our end users that it is truly, in fact, easy to use and intuitive. So they were allowed to switch a full inning of baseball. Some innings were longer than others. Some were definitely more exciting than others. And they were actually able to record the output of that recording and take it home with them. So now, not only do you have a press release and graphics, you actually have an experience of utilizing the product that you can write about and you can draw from, and hopefully it was an exciting experience for everyone involved.
What I found amazing about that was that the quality of the recordings, if I didn't know any better, I would have assumed that it was a professionally produced event. And
also, I love the IP technology, and what I noticed was the cabling. You didn't see, I mean, the cabling was very thin, it was very unobtrusive, and it's great for those situations. Alex, we've witnessed firsthand how well the Anycast Touch fits into a sports application. Can you talk about any other ideal applications of the Anycast Touch?
Right. So with the Anycast Touch, what we really set out to do was to bring live production to absolutely anyone, anywhere. With the dual touch screens, it is intuitive for anyone who's ever used a smartphone or a tablet to jump right in. You've witnessed that firsthand. So ideal applications would be house of worship. Think about your house of worship volunteer. Usually a person with a great heart, but not a very technical person to operate a switcher or any other kind of equipment, they would be instantly comfortable behind the Anycast Touch.
And it's not like they can hire expensive technicians to come
Exactly, exactly. So you put someone, volunteer behind the Anycast Touch, and the turnover rate is very high. So you have to worry about, okay, if I have a product where I've trained somebody for a month, 2 months to handle my production, now they're going to move on. The Anycast Touch helps that in that the learning curve is very short. So it's very ideal for house of worship, very ideal for education environments, corporate environments, and to that end, right now we're actually running a special. We have a $1,000 instant rebate promotion for education and house of worship facilities if they purchase within the next 3 months, so by the end of June. The Anycast Touch, and we feel that that is the right fit, the right target, the people who would benefit from the Anycast Touch the most.
And I know you just mentioned the rebate. Anything else Sony's doing to make an Anycast Touch more accessible in markets in particular?
Yeah, so with the rebate, we are trying to make the, because it could, live production in a house of worship environment could be a little cost prohibitive at some times, and we have to make sure that we're sensitive to all of their needs.
Right.
Even the needs that Sony doesn't necessarily provide as a product, such as stage lighting. These are all realities of a live production in a house of worship or a live event or in various live events. So with the rebate, we're trying to make it more affordable for house of worship and even, for the education segments. We've also introduced the Anycast Touch hard case. It's available to protect the Anycast Touch with making it easier than ever to make it bring it around, make it a portable device.
It's all. I mean, it's great because you just fold it up, you're ready to go.
Right,
yeah.
right. I've been told that it fits above the seat in a Continental Express. Right. In an express jet, so.
Let's go back to the scene feature. You mentioned earlier, this feature really makes the Anycast stand out. I'll direct us to Dion.
Sure.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So again, the whole concept of the Anycast Touch is really ease of use, intuitive operation. So for those of you familiar with a traditional switcher setup, when you're building like an on-air look, let's say you have a picture-in-picture effect, and you also have background video, you have lower thirds, and you have a logo. I call that an on-air look. That's a number of elements that are going on all at once. You're now engaging your video sources, you're engaging keys, you may be engaging a DME, what have you. If you wanted to transition away from that, in a traditional environment, you're going to want to transition from that on-air look to another on-air look that's similar in nature. You may have some of the same elements. Of course, you'll have video sources. You may have lower thirds and a logo. It may be in a different configuration. Well, in a traditional environment, you would have to create your first on-air look on ME number 1, and then your second on-air look on ME number 2, and transition between the two. That's one method of doing it, or you need to have a lot of keys or a lot of DMEs to pull that off, where you could transition on the same ME to get between those two looks. But what we've done with the Anycast Touch, it is a 1ME switcher, but to avoid having to go through all those additional steps and avoiding having to have the additional hardware, we created the scenes feature. And scenes are really a template of all the different elements that can be called upon or implemented on a specific on-air look. So you can now have a background video with a picture-in-picture effect on the front, with lower thirds and a logo, and you can save that as scene number 1. And then scene number 2 could be a completely different on-air look where it's just video and lower thirds and a logo. So now with the single tap of the scenes option on the touchscreens, you can now go between one on-air look and another on-air look with a single touch. So no need to worry about building up all of these different elements every time you want to go to that specific look. It's already pre-created for you. One very cool thing about the scenes feature as well is the fact that our pan-tilt zoom cameras, we can store presets for the positions of the cameras on the Anycast Touch.
I love that feature.
So you can, and you can actually store that as a part of the scene. So now I can have scene number 1 with camera stage right pointing at Marty, and scene number 2 can have camera stage right pointing at me. And all you have to do is touch one item on the touchscreen on the Anycast Touch, and people have loved it so far.
And I would imagine for the end user that you're targeting, simplicity is very important. You know, and if they have complex scenes, they can't, like you said, they can't be recomposing these scenes every time they're going to take it to air.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we know in today's live production world, a traditional TD or a traditional live production professional is also the TD. He's the A1 or she's the A1. They're also the camera person. So they're doing everything. So if you're going to give a product to bring up a product to the market that's all in one, if they're going to be doing everything, we should make the product easy for them to use so that they can do everything with as least hassle as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd like to invite anybody in the audience. If anybody has a question. No, I guess. Oh, we have a question over there.
And here too.
Hi, I'm Kevin Meyer from Northern Illinois University. We do a lot of speaker remotes, tracking the speakers. I'm interested in that tracking technology. Is that up and coming, or is that something you guys already can demonstrate?
Great question. So the auto tracking feature is actually, we're demonstrating it at the show right now, today. So during the Anycast Touch stage presentation, there'll actually be a live demonstration of the feature. You can walk over to this all-in-one live production area as well on in the booth, and you can take a look at how to set it up and how it would look and feel. Expected release of that software update will probably be in the May timeframe, so early summer. We'll have that released for the Anycast Touch, available for download and installation from our Sony website.
What type of cameras will that work with?
Good question. It supports our Sony lineup of BRC cameras. It also supports a few cameras in our SRG lineup, and I believe it also supports some of the cameras in our EVI lineup as well. The models, there are specific models that are supported, some that are not, but we'll make that available on the website once the software is available for download.
Anybody else? Oh, there in the corner?
I think there was one down front as well.
Thank you. I'm Lauren Mitchell. I run a website called Automation Talk, and we're looking to change this stuff. The only limitation I have is the output frame that you guys are using. Since you output to Flash, is there any plans to change that, or